Hi dear students, welcome to Biology Classroom. Now we are experiencing varieties of online platforms here. So today I would like to share one of the important topic of biology in a simple way. As we all know, we are facing a global crisis now. That is because of the widespreading of coronavirus. The entire world is struggling. We are compelled to stay inside the houses, and we want to continue. Now also we want to continue the online teaching and learning process. So we have to make it as a happy one. We have to enjoy this learning very seriously like anything. So for the whole year, for the last whole year, we practiced a lot of online teaching and learning strategies. In this year, in this academic year, and now we are confident enough to provide happy teaching and happy learning to you in different online platforms. I am Ms. Hafsat, the teacher of biology. Welcome everybody to this first class of biology during this academic year. So do you know what is the name of the first chapter? What is the first chapter that we are going to study? Yes, it is not anything that is the fundamental unit of life, the cell. And this is not a new term for us. We studied a lot in junior classes about the cell. Are you remembering the contents or the concepts that we studied from 8th standard? Yes, you have to say, yes, one by one you can say what are the concepts that we studied in lower classes. Cell is the fundamental unit of life, it is the basic unit of life, and unicellular organisms are there, multicellular organisms are there. Then cells are microscopic, and the cells, they are exhibiting varieties of shape, varieties of structure, and they vary in number too. So these are the basic concepts that we studied from 8th standard. Okay. So in this year, in this class, we are going to study something more about the cell. Is it interesting? Yes, I hope so. We know that a number of scientists, they worked hard for the invention or behind the invention of the cell. So in ancient time, there was no this compound microscope, and there was no setup to see the microscopic things. That is why, by a great effort, the scientists named Robert Hooke. So Robert Hooke, he is the first scientist, well-known scientist, and the famous scientist who worked behind the invention of the cell. Okay, so he used one microscope prepared by himself, and by the help of that microscope, he noticed, he observed a thin slice of cork. A thin slice of cork. So in that thin slice of cork, he can notice that a number of room-like compartments are there. Room-like structures are there, resembling a honeycomb. This is the first step behind the invention of the cell. After that, the scientist named Leeuwenhoek, he introduced the microscope. By the introduction of this microscope, a number of scientists come forward to see, to study the fine ultrastructure of the cell. Because of this, now we are able to study a lot about the ultrastructure of the cell. So let's start how the cell look like, or what are the major components of a cell. Yes, once more we can go back to the 8th standard class or 8th standard biology. Yes, though we studied the comparison of cell with one building. Yes, for the construction of a building, what is the essential material? What is the basic material? Yes, it is of course the bricks. The bricks, they are arranged in a peculiar way to give shape for this building. Okay, I will show you one toy house. This is one toy house. This toy house is made up of small building blocks here. Okay, like this small building blocks are there. Like this, we can see the buildings. All the buildings are also like this. All the buildings are made up of small brick-like structures. So, buildings, walls, etc. all these are the non-living things here. So, what about the condition of the living things? Yes, all the living organisms such as plants, animals, microorganisms, etc. all these are made up of cells. The shape or the structure for this living body, that is not by anything, but it is by arranging the cells in a peculiar way. Hope you got an idea about what is this functional unit of life? Yes. So all the organism's body, that is made up of this cells. If the organism's body is very large, it doesn't matter, it is also made up of cell. If it is a small microorganisms, its body is also made up of cell. So as we know, the body is made up of large number of cells. It is a plant body and also animal body. And we studied major differences are there between the plant cell and also animal cell. Now we are studying a typical cell. If it is a plant cell or an animal cell, the cell is made up of the same basic components. Okay. So what are the major components of the cell? Say one by one. Yes. The outermost covering, that is the plasma membrane or cell membrane. Inside this plasma membrane, the living content of the cell called protoplasm is there. Protoplasm is the living content of the cell. Okay. So it will be more clear to you if I am showing this example to you. What is this? Yes, this is an egg. And we know that this is a single cell here. So all the cells are not microscopic. Most of the cells are microscopic, but some macroscopic cells too. So this we can see, this is the egg of a hen. So which is the largest egg? Yes, the egg of an ostrich. So egg of an ostrich is the largest cell. So which is the smallest cell? Yes, it is a microorganism. The smallest cell, that is a mycoplasma, that is a very smallest living creature. Okay. So what are the things, what are the major parts of the cell? Yes, the outermost covering. This is the cell membrane. Over the cell membrane, there is an additional covering is there in case of egg, that is a hard shell. Because of the calcium deposition, then we can see what hard shell to give protection for the cell. Okay, and this kind of hard shell that is not present in case of the egg or ovum of human beings and others. So this hard shell is only for providing extra protection for this. So in between, just behind or just below this hard shell, we can see the cell membrane. We can see the cell membrane, one permeable or selectively permeable membrane we can see. Okay. Then inside this egg, what we can see is the content of the egg. At the center, we can see the yolk. Surrounding the yolk, that is the nucleus. Yolk is the nucleus. Surrounding this yolk, what we can see? Yes, there is a semi-solid or jelly-like mass. A jelly-like fluid is that is the cytoplasm. That is the cytoplasm. So hope it is clear now. When we are comparing the cell or when we are studying by the help of this example, it will be more clear to you. These are the major parts of the cell. Once more we can see what are they? Yes, cell membrane, cytoplasm and nucleus. Okay. So by the help of the diagram, we can see the structure of a cell more. Okay, look the diagram. Yes, in the diagram you can see all the parts of the cells very clearly. So inside of the cytoplasm, we can see the suspended cell organelles. Cell organelles such as mitochondria, ribosomes, Golgi complex, endoplasmic reticulum, etc. All these are the suspended cell organelles that we can see inside the cytoplasm. Cytoplasm plus nucleus. Cytoplasm plus nucleus, that is the protoplasm, the entire living content of the cell. Okay. So listen this. What is this? Yes, this is one of the model. This is one of the model of the cell. Okay. So here we can see all this cell organelles and also all the parts of the cells are very visible and clear. Okay, so this outermost part, this outermost covering, this is the cell membrane or cytoplasm. What are the features of the cell membrane? Yes, just recall some more points that we studied from the 8th standard. It is a selectively permeable membrane. It can protect all the inner contents of the cell. It can protect all the inner contents of the cell being its outermost position here. Okay, and again, what we can see at the center we can see the nucleus in case of animal cell. So there is a difference here in between the plant cell and animal cell considering the location of the nucleus. In case of plant cell, the nucleus is shifted to one side, whereas in animal cell we can see the nucleus exactly at the center. Okay. Yes, in between the cell membrane and nucleus we can see there is a pink colored area. So what we can call for this? Yes, this is the cytoplasm. The jelly-like mass that we experienced inside of the egg. Okay, so the cytoplasm is a suitable place for staying all this cell organelles. All the cell organelles are suspended inside this fluid cytoplasm. Okay, so what are the cell organelles suspended here? Yes, here near to the nucleus or nuclear membrane we can see the endoplasmic reticulum. Then lysosomes are there. Then two types of endoplasmic reticulum is there. Then near the nuclear membrane we can see the rough endoplasmic reticulum, and here near the plasma membrane we can see the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Then Golgi apparatus is the mitochondria, vacuoles, centrioles, nucleus, etc. All these are the structures or cell organelles. They are suspended inside this fluid cytoplasm. Okay, so we have to study one by one what about the characteristic features and about the functions of all these cell organelles. Okay, all the cell organelles, they are variety in function. Just compare the cell with one house. Compare the cell with one house or one school. So, in a house or in a school, we can see a number of staff members are working in a school, and all these are doing different functions here. Principal is doing one function, and then the peon, he has another function, and the teachers, they have their role is different. The students, their role is also different. So, like that, inside the cell, we can see a number of cell organelles. All the cell organelles are performing different functions. Okay, in the coming classes, we will study more about the structure, function, location, everything of this all the cell organelles. Okay, so once more I am saying nucleus is the centrally located one, and nucleus is the controlling unit of the cell. We have studied a lot about this nucleus here. Nucleus is the controlling unit of the cell, like the principal. Principal is the controlling unit of the school. Okay, like that, the nucleus is the controlling part of this cell. Then all other structures are suspended around this nucleus. Okay, so these are the basic things regarding the cell. Hope this class is very useful for you to get a basic concept about the cell. Thank you. Have a nice day.